Friends, this is a live stream regarding business and discussing about some of the key subjects, and we come here live every day. So if you have any question, you can use the chat function to communicate with us. And today we are going to discuss about a very important aspect of our business, which is related to two items which has happened in past few days. One is a lot of corporates have started asking, or rather forcing, employees to come to the office and work from the office. Second is there is a new term called moonlighting, which is employees working for different multiple companies at the same time. So some of the corporates have started firing these people who are working with multiple brands, basically two timing. And so today's subject is related to this, how the corporates would basically amicably ensure that the employees actually continue to work for them. So in this program, in this live stream, we will analyze all these points and probably come up with a solution. So stay tuned. So friends, I think the topic is very, very deep, and it affects everyone. Why such a situation is happening now in the year 2022? Because for last 2 years, the entire industry has been, in the grip of the pandemic, and because of that, the work got transitioned into work from home scenario. And later on, the smart strategists came out with a new term called hybrid. So some days you basically work from home, and some days you come to the office and work. And in order to ensure that people will come to the workplace and then do what, because they will feel totally disconnected, a system was brought in by few companies where in circulation employees were asked to work and come to the office and work with the team. Now we all know that this kind of connect and disconnect, connect and disconnect, alternate, is not very productive. At the most, what you will do, you will basically catch up with your friends on that day. Say for example, if the employees go to the office, they will actually end up spending more time with catching up with their colleagues and understanding what they have gone through, etc., etc. So certain companies have said that you come to the office only for bonding purpose, but they wanted people to necessarily come and work in hybrid work environment. And this has been going on for about 6 to 8 months now, where a lot of companies are saying that let's work in the hybrid mode. And now the big question is that normally the companies have a traditional model, and the traditional model is there is a team leader, and under him the team member will work, and that work is distributed among the team member. So the team leader is also part of another team, and so on and so forth. So there are multiple pyramids which work, and in progression ultimately they all report into the CEO of the organization. So this is a traditional working model that most of the corporates and every company follow. And because of this hybrid work culture, there is an additional burden on basically who is doing what and which location they are located. Because in the earlier brick and mortar model, all you had to do is basically walk up to the seat of this employee and see what he is doing, probably talk to him, and if he needs any help, you can provide any guidance, etc. Now in hybrid mode, all these kinds of monitoring and management is a nightmare. And because of that, even employees feel that while the leaders or the management is facing a big problem in terms of managing the quality, managing the work, the employees are feeling much better, because they feel that work from home gives them more flexibility. They can have a more work-life balance. And remote working is a reality, because then earlier you had to go to office, probably stay on rent, move away from your native place, especially if you're in a large country, travel 2,000-3,000 kilometers for work, and work in that company. And basically shift your base from your native place to a new place. And the remote working, which is work from home, has given them opportunity to go back, because when they are working from home, it doesn't matter which place they are in, so they all move to the native place. And now you're asking all the corporates now, asking them to come back, relocate, and that is where the resistance is coming. Because one is that the employees are feeling that by having a remote working environment, they are much closer to their parents and their families, and they have a better quality of life, and they are also saving money because they don't have to shell out money in terms of rentals and their life support. And when they are with their family, they have a better bond and better utilization of their personal time. So they obviously see the benefit in remote working and work from home scenario. So there is a bit of a resistance going back to the office. But some of the corporates in last 10 days have fired few people who have not adhered to certain guidelines. And I feel that firing is not a solution. So I think the whole point in coming out with a live stream today on a Friday, so that we have weekend to think about these points and circle back next week on something else. So I think firing is not a solution. And what are the challenges that we are facing today? One of the biggest challenges is the engagement. So we are working from remote location, working from home, probably spread out across the country, not located in the office, not even located in the city. So how we should basically engage with the employees? Because earlier you could walk up to the seat, but now how do you do that? So I think that this is a challenge for managers or a team leader. This is becoming a big challenge. I think the thought process itself is changed completely, because the management style is different. Your employee is available on the screen, not in front of you. You cannot walk up to the desk. You have to fix a time when you basically talk to your team member or the employee. Or if you're basically looking at the management, then you have to basically organize your time in a much more different way. And earlier you could do micromanagement, now you can't do any management. So I think this is a challenge one, that how do you basically engage your employees when they are working from offshore locations or remote location or work from home. So engagement is a big issue, and that is why the new concept of moonlighting has come, where the employees will choose to work for multiple corporates, utilizing his or her own time for his or her own benefit. So engagement, how do you ensure that the feeling of belongingness, feeling of trust, and those kind of feelings are utilized in a much better way when we are looking at the remote work or work from home? What are the other challenges that the managers especially are facing in the company? Well, the stick rule used to be there in most of the companies. I mean, a lot of people used to say that, hey, I am very, very employee friendly. We do not create any pressure. Our company is, very employee friendly, gives you a good environment so that you can be productive. But the stick for non-productivity was always there. There used to be a chopping, knife, which used to be there in the manager's hand. And these managers who are used to the old style of governing their teams, they are having a big problem, because how they will carry out the diktat. Because if you do not do this work, you are out of the company. If you do not do this work, this is your punishment. If you do not do this work, you are on an improvement plan of the company. And if you do not have the skill, here is your learning and development. So a lot of these management based diktat used to be there, which manager used to give. Now if they are working from offshore location or work from home, the managers are going completely paranoid, because how they basically use their skill of what they've learned in last 5-10 years or even 20 years in the current situation. So this is challenge number 2. The mindset of the manager has to undergo a complete change. The management style has to completely change, and that is the challenge number 2 that the organizations are facing, and it is a universal phenomena. It's not only happening in 1 or 2 companies, it is a challenge for everybody. This is a very important challenge, because how do you now manage your team? I mean, forget about the point whether they are loyal to you, or are you able to engage with them more effectively. How do you even manage them? Because whatever they were doing for last 10 years is not applicable now. So it's a challenge. What is the next challenge? Opportunities. Why employees should feel that they have to be working for you? Because they are obviously looking for opportunities for growth, and every day they should be learning new things, so that their career can they can outshine, and they learn new tricks and of the trade, etc. So why people shift jobs? There are a couple of reasons. One is that if they don't see that any new type of work coming their way, they will shift. If they are not learning new skills, they will shift. If they, so money is one of them, but there are other reasons also, like new opportunities for getting skills, and there could be few more also. That is why people shift and change their jobs. So today, in a remote working scenario or work from home scenario, how you will ensure that there are opportunities offered, and that is why the employees will like to work for you. That is a big question. Nobody has an answer. Nobody is even trying to answer. How do you basically ask these employees to stick around to the work culture or be loyal to the company? And I think that is where the problem with the HR people is coming, because they are still thinking in the old mindset, in my opinion. And since we are live, if any HR professional is watching, feel free to share your thoughts, because we are live. We can get your message flashed right away and get into a discussion live right now. So HR people have to get more creative, because I think this is coming into their area. How do you create opportunity for employees in terms of career growth and also learning and development? Because if they are working from offshore, the old method of building a L&D program on an annual basis is not applicable, because you don't know what is going on, and you have no clue what is what employee is getting what kind of kick in doing what kind of work. So you don't have any idea. So I think it is a more responsibility of the HR leadership of the industry to come up with a new thought process, because if they continue and in the same old rut, then obviously they will start losing people, and then today you have fired 300 people. Does it really matter if an organization says that you come and sit in my office, otherwise I'll fire you? The employee will say, okay, fire me. How does it matter to me? Because anyway, I'm in a very comfortable position. I can work for multiple organizations as a contract employee. So the firing is not an answer. Putting diktat of coming to the office is not an answer. I think the landscape has changed so much that the HR people have to, or the CEOs of the companies have to realize that we are not going to run our companies the way we were running before 2020. There has to be more creativity. There has to be more different processes. A new type of work culture has to evolve, and employees basically have to be retained, because if you don't retain employees, then companies will the strength of the employee basically make sure the company shines. If there are no employees, where is the shine? So I think you have to start thinking in that manner, where the old things will not work, and how do you offer in the new scheme of things, how do you offer future growth opportunities and learning and development opportunities to the people who are working for you? And now let's look at the other side of it, the leadership. You basically hire managers to manage your employees, but the managers are not skilled enough for the new era. they are still using the stick method. They are still calling the guy and telling him, hey, you have to do this, you got 2 days, you got 1 day. These kind of things will not work. And if they have to do it, if say for example a manager is having say 10 employees, he has to do it 10 times because he doesn't know what these 10 people are doing. So because of this, the management style has changed so much, and most of the people are still following the old methods. They are feeling burnt out, and in fact nearly 60% of the managers don't have a clue. 60% is almost like more than 50% of the industry, and this is cutting across all domains. I'm not talking about only one particular domain. It's cutting across all domains. These are the problems the managers and leaders are facing, and they have no answer what to do. They have no clue what is to be done next. So I think this is where, again, I would like to point out to the HR heads that they should come out with new strategies. It is very similar to what happened in the year 1996 when the employee friendliness became a mantra for all the companies to attract the best talent. And in the 1995-96, some of the HR managers who were outliers in their space, they actually created this employee friendliness. Now this employee friendliness has lived its life, and industry is now sitting on a next churn. And I think the HR leaders of today will have to think creatively and come up with a new strategy, because if they continue on the same path, they will not only lose employees, they will start losing their managers, because most of the managers are saying that they don't know what to do. All right, let's move to the next one. Let's look at the employees' feelings. 60% of the employee are feeling that there are not growth opportunities. I mean, if they join a company, what is that they are getting in return? Are they getting growth? Are they getting higher salary? Are they getting good environment? Are they getting ESOPs? Does any of these things have any meaning today? So that is why working for an employee loyally, most of the employees are feeling that, okay, there is no growth opportunity. If there is no growth, there is no area for learning. I'm not picking up any new skills. They will move on and work for something else. They will do something else. And that is where the employees are also, in that group. So both sides of the spectrum for working for a company are feeling managers don't know how to manage the team members. The team members does not have any confidence in why they should work for a company, because they are not getting anything in return. So I think the solution, I mean, I've discussed the problem so far, so let me also throw some light on the solution from my perspective. I feel, as I have already pointed out, that the management style has to undergo tremendous change. We have to start thinking in a different way. We have to start empowering people, and we have to treat each employee as a CEO. So that you start so there is no role for manager. Each one of you will start thinking like a CEO, and there will be less number of managers. You don't have to look at the pyramid structure or creating a bell curve right now, because this is not going to work anymore. So one thing is that you create this philosophy, or start creating this system, a new system, start working with it based on your company ideology, the condition or the nature of work. You need to come up with a new strategy and start experimenting in a small way. If it succeeds in a small way, then expand it across your organization. So first start working on this philosophy that the old method will not work, old management style will not work. We have to come up with something new, and in my opinion, it has to be more empowerment, because people are now working from remote locations. And when you have this strategy, first of all, the thought process that I will create multiple CEOs in my organization. I mean, the role itself, the mindset employees will have as a CEO. They are responsible for profitability for the work they are doing. And if you're able to create a scenario where you share a bit of a profit of what they are doing, then it will be a killer proposition, because now the employee will start thinking like a CEO, because for finishing that work, they will get a piece of the pie, not merely a salary. So that is number one. Number two is migrate all of this using some new technology like augmented reality or virtual reality, because that will give you more engagement, more realistic engagement. And as we are going towards the year 2023, the data will not be an issue. Utilization of data will not be an issue, because the 5G will come during Diwali in next 1 month, and then most of the country will have 5G services. So 2.5 gigabytes Gbps speed per second, I don't think the data will be any issue. So I think it will give a lot of freedom, leg space, elbow space to technology and HR companies to HR teams to team up together, come up with augmented reality based solution, so that employees are better engaged in a virtual environment while you keep working on the policies that are required. So I think these are certain things which are affecting us today, and these are some of the solutions that I as an industry professional, I myself like to offer or give advice from my side, what I feel. Maybe this is not a complete scenario, maybe you are grappling with some other issue. So share your thoughts, share your challenges on this live stream, and I meet you every day to discuss business opportunities and issues faced by the industry leaders and the CEOs of today, Monday to Friday. So I take your leave and meet you again at the same time, 12:30 on Monday next week. So enjoy your weekend, think about whatever I've told you today, and we can circle back again next week. You can also share your thoughts during the weekend. I will respond to you. So bye bye friends, have a rocking weekend.